here. Thank you for this opportunity. And I just want to give a millisecond of background in terms of this project, which is a little bit different. It's a professional group who are trying to really develop their professional focus, who they are, what they do, and then how that translates into the curriculum. So a number of the professionals we've heard from this morning are beyond that and further developed. We're going back a step here. So I just press, what do I press? This one? Here we go. Okay, so the group that developed this project is an existing collaboration of academics around Australia. We've been together since 2002. I have led the group since 2006, and the project was put together for 2010-2011. And the group represented quite a number of institutions around Australia, all involved in teaching public health nutrition, but without a professional background, as I said. So this group was really trying to grapple with those issues of, well, what is it that are core to our curriculum? And then we go on to look at how to do that. So the focus of the project was curriculum renewal in public health nutrition. And we really were aiming to develop academic standards in public health nutrition with a view to this providing a framework for program change in Australian institutions. So this program in the various institutions had grown out of other programs, public health programs, dietetic programs, nutrition programs, but there was this entity called Public Health Nutrition getting employed as public health nutritionists, but really needing a consolidated background. It also informed practice at a global level. Now, the approach was consensus-based. The first phase of the project was a classic three-stage Delphi process. Experts across Australia and internationally. We had 41 experts who completed the Delphi process. 2 rounds of the process looked at development of agreed academic standards, and then the 3rd round looked at standards in relation to different areas of practice, so local, regional, and then state and national areas of practice, because the standards and competencies required at those levels are different. Following on from that, we developed the competency framework. Well, arising out of that, developed the competency framework of 13 core competency areas and functions, so ranging from foundation knowledge and nutrition science, analytic skills and so on, through to management skills, leadership skills, professional skills, building capacity and intervention management. And then within each of those 13 core function areas, it was broken down into specific academic standards, which range from basic, described dietary requirements, through to more advanced, which is the evaluation work. We then looked at the standards framework and whether that was reflective of professionals in the field, and how could we develop students to understand their role within their professional context. So that development there was really to look at, well, are they going to be working with government and encouraging government to take on a public health focus, or are they going to be working with the public and assisting them to put forward their views as part of, say, a policy process. So trying to get the students to think through, well, where are they working and how is that going to influence their practice? So we also focused on pedagogy. Obviously, as part of this process, we adopted York's employability framework to inform the study, and that in itself had quite a challenge for the academics involved, because coming from health professional practice, they weren't as tuned in to pedagogical frameworks. And so this concept of employability, which we used, actually challenged them quite a bit. Some of them reacted against it because they were thinking, well, this is all about employment. What are we doing in institutions about employment? But that wasn't actually the case. And we had these discussions at a national face-to-face forum where we got all of the different institutions across Australia together, and the participants were really challenged to reflect on their own teaching and opportunities to engage in curriculum mapping activities. So it was quite a hands-on program there, and in addition we stimulated them to think about recent changes in the sector by having an OLT fellow come and present and really challenge them in some of the work that they were doing. The academic standards through this project we realised needed extra work, so we had another activity, a national activity, to really refine what had been developed through the Delphi, tested out at the forum, but then changed further to make them really practical for use in the curriculum in the institutions around Australia. And out of that we actually produced a nice practical outline of all of them that they could just pin up and refer to as part of their curriculum mapping initiatives. An outcome of this project is really to in part inform international global practice. There is a new World Public Health Nutrition Association. They are grappling with these same issues. Many other countries, particularly developing countries where public health nutrition is core to health outcomes, they really need a lot of support in terms of workforce development, and so these activities here in Australia are directly feeding into those global challenges. So that professional need has driven this project very much. But what was achieved? Well, we can see this as a sort of a new baby, and is still highly dependent on nurturing a positive academic environment and recognition for a place in the world. So academic standards are really just the first step, obviously, in curriculum renewal, and we got to that step and people are taking them on board. But we are encouraging the institutions to really look at their pedagogical approach, mentoring and supporting of early career academics in this area, developing networks for learning and teaching strategy and assessment activities, as we've heard about earlier today, and reflections on the field once graduates get into that, as Karen has also mentioned. Thank you very much.